Hi Cap, it's Kendrick from Providence Tarot. I am coming to you with your mid-June reading, okay? I would like to thank you for watching the channel. If you are new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also, if you are on IG, make sure you follow me on Instagram. It's Providence Tarot, and my personal account is NYC Kendrick. Capricorn, we have a lot of energy, a lot of planetary action going on in your sign. If you're a Capricorn rising, sorry, my dog is expressing herself. Not really, but you know what I mean. She is giving me boss lady realness right now for your reading, Capricorn. And hopefully she will not be mean mugging us this entire time. Nuck if you buck. So I'm going to be using 5 different decks, as I have been recently. Wrigley. The Romance Angels Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue. I'm starting in the middle because she's distracting me and I'm a Libra. Okay, so Archangel Power Tarot by Doreen Virtue, the Runes Oracle cards, and then the Romance Angels, as I said before, and then the Archangel Oracle cards and the Keepers of the Light. Because there is a glare, I'm going to show you what those look like. Archangel Power, Runes, Romance Angels, Archangel Oracle by Doreen, and Keepers of the Light by Kyle Gray. All right, so let me go ahead and start by taking out your tarot cards. I'm gonna shuffle them for you. Hopefully this sound will distract Wrigley from her growling exercise. She came in here, she followed me in here, and now she's like yelling at me. Happy eclipse, it's happening in your 7th house of relationships, Capricorn rising. What's happening here? What was covered before that is no longer covered? Oh, I love a 333 moment, Capricorn moon. Wow, okay, so your full moon is coming up in 2 weeks. That Capricorn moon, it's kind of like, detach from the emotion of something. Maybe you're clearing the emotion right now, whatever you might be experiencing in your 7th house, and then come time that full moon happens in your 1st house of Capricorn, you will feel like, something has completed itself in like 2 weeks. For you. You might be very decided on something. Part of your identity might be changing, and you might just be really stepping into that new identity or whatever new aspect of your life that is different from before, that is very significant. Okay, so let me just read the 3 stack, and then I'm going to put it back together and lay the cards out. So the first card is Epiphany, which is a 9, and this is Virgo, the Hermit, which is talking about something illuminated within, finding the answers, getting more knowledge, deeper knowledge of something, more meaning behind something, and a deeper understanding. And then it's also kind of being better connected with your goals and your aspirations, right? We're trying to figure out, like, what are the necessary steps that we need to take in order so that we can have, everything that we want out of life. And also it kind of is like, it's talking about growth, expansion, spiritual growth, and just your foundations changing, what's important to you. Okay, what are your principles right now? And those have changed. As you've gotten older, I see some maturity happening here for you, Capricorn. So you're definitely seeing yourself being at a different stage of life and knowing a little bit more than you did before, which is actually teaching you a thing or two about yourself and kind of introducing you to this side of yourself that you couldn't have seen before, because you had to go through an experience that could show you that you could become this person, or that this could be your reality, or that this could, all of a sudden, one day be different. This could even be talking about you just thinking like all of a sudden things are just different, at one point, all of a sudden. It says joy that comes through spiritual growth being a light to others. So sort of like mentoring others, giving others advice, or maybe others are looking to you as an example of something, you know, and they see how you do things and you are sort of like a light to them, or you're an example, right? And it says the answers that come through meditation. So the answers that come through meditation really talk about spending time with yourself and being able to, you know, receive those messages as they're coming in. It's talking about quiet time as well. Maybe you need to get away from all of the noise and everything that's sort of like, you know, triggers you or inspires you, you know, because it's kind of like you might be feeling like you might be reacting emotionally, or you might just be having an overwhelming sense of emotional awareness. And that makes you pull away from other people so that you can kind of like work things out for yourself. I have Saturn in my first house, so I definitely feel like a Capricorn a lot, which is why I'm doing this reading now. And I just did some and whatever. But yeah, it's, what time is it? It's close, it's around 10 o'clock, so it's not that late. Some readers do readings like after midnight, which is a dance that I was in by Chase Brock from the Chase Brock Experience. Anyway, sorry, Capricorn. Look, I will be talking about my career. Let's flip over another card. Five of Raphael, right? So this is something that you couldn't control, right? So it's affecting you emotionally, and it's making you feel, you know, severe emotions or strong emotions that you are uncomfortable with. You know, it really is raising your levels of consciousness over how you feel about something, or how you feel towards someone, or, you know, how your emotions or your feelings won't change about something that you might have been attached to. You're like, my feelings won't change, or it's kind of like, I'm too hurt by this thing, or it's kind of like, you know, this has left such an impression on me that it's changed me forever. I'll never forget this, you know. And it's saying whatever this is, it's meant, you're meant to learn from it. You're meant to change from it. It really is meant for you to change from it, right? And you're experiencing some changes right now. This is Mars in Scorpio, which is in its rulership. Those relationships definitely will. You know, intimate relationships, Mars and Scorpio. Mars rules Scorpio, and Mars is talking about aggression, initiation. So it's initiating change and it's initiating transformation. So, you know, that commitment that you were once attached to, or that thing that you may have believed in so much on an emotional level, you probably never thought that it could be any different, right? You had that fixed energy, but the five is saying like, no, it can change, it can transform. You have the power here in this very moment to realize what it is that you want, what it is that you desire, what it is that is important to you on an emotional level that is going to be satisfying and is going to be fulfilling for you. You know what I mean? So that's what we're dealing with here. You know, whatever you may have detached yourself from, or maybe whatever what was unhealthy, or whatever you needed to kind of like gain some clarity on, you're realizing that there's some things that you're gonna have to do. There's some sort of like obligation that you have to yourself to be able to heal from whatever this is that challenged you so greatly. You know, because it's like you don't want to continue to give that emotional energy to something that is no longer available to you, and you're no longer available to it, right? Let's flip over the other one. Five of Ariel, another five, which is talking about challenges financially, or challenges within like, you know, sensuality, body. The fifth house is Leo. So this talks about your ability to create lasting results in relationships or in commitments, or this could be like your challenges that you are facing to accumulate wealth, or to create some kind of like new reality for yourself. It's like you want to change your reality. You're thinking a lot about like the different ways that you wish you could change it. You desire, you want to. This five is also related to the Hierophant, right? It's like people might be giving you financial advice, or people could be trying to like give you different ways of coping with your challenges. You might even be waiting to hear back from some sort of office in terms of like how they can help you, or what they can do for you, or something like that. with this Five of Pentacles. It's Mercury, and Mercury rules commerce and process. So this could be talking about the responsibility to make good on some bills or something, or this could even just be talking about thinking about thinking about a new way to make money or to support yourself. The Five of Ariel, the Five of Pentacles, is talking about challenges that you face and being able to support yourself, right? Or someone else. It says you needn't go through your current challenges alone. Stop it. Sorry. You needn't go through your current challenges alone. Help is nearby. Negative thoughts create self-fulfilling prophecies, right? So you want to kind of like stray away from manifesting things that come from a negative place. You know, and the fives are all talking about the severity of like a situation that makes you feel kind of like your ego is being challenged, you know, or your ego is facing some sort of like hardship, right? Or the fives do talk about hardship, okay? Seven of Gabriel is talking about, you know, your ego and your pride being challenged because of the adversity that you are facing as you move towards your goals, right? But this is also talking about how things might get confusing because they might get very challenging, or you might, you know, just be finding it difficult to cope with all of the different things that are coming in simultaneously. You're trying to stay very balanced with how you respond and react to things. You know, this is also a card that talks about really believing in yourself and doing the things that are going to be right for your development, right? And it's also kind of like being in a developmental stage in your process where like you can see yourself getting to the finish line, you can see yourself getting towards that victory, but you have to like really just inject more energy into it. It's kind of like the final push, okay? So stay strong definitely with this final push. You got the Empress here as well. Hold on one second. Hey, stop it. Come here. I'm sorry. Hi. The dog was just getting a little bit too rowdy and I had to get her out of here. I love her so much. But you got the Empress. So this is also talking about, you know, the multiplicity of, you know, your creative abilities. You know, you have to trust, because this is Venus and she's talking about truth. She's talking about trust. She's also talking about harmony, and she's also talking about your abilities, right? Your creative abilities, you know, they're endless. Creativity abounds, right? It's kind of like look around you and see what it is that needs attention, right? Maybe it's you that need attention. Maybe you need to kind of like, it's a three, so it's Gemini. The third house is talking about, you know, optimism and childlike energy, and just kind of like, you know, taking risks that make you feel inspired, right? You also could just be learning from your own abilities, you know? It's kind of like, don't limit yourself as well. That's what I'm getting. Don't limit yourself with the Empress. The Empress is kind of like unlimited, right? She's like that divine femininity that is like manifested down to earth, which is very like Taurus, okay? So we're talking about, you know, a gestation process, a growth process that's happening here. Something is going to come into fruition, right? You just have to go ahead and continue moving in that direction. It talks about travel and movement and agility, right? Flexibility as well. Be trying to stay flexible in your mind, trying to stay flexible with your time, and being flexible in your relationships as well, okay? That's also something that you just need to practice right now. It's retrograde season. Some things are not going to be going exactly the way that we want them to go. So we have to definitely, we have to, just kind of go with the flow, right? Be a little bit more malleable, okay? You can bend, but don't break, right? Have some sort of like sway to you. It says time to act upon your plans. Creativity is rewarded and luxurious or abundant resources are at your disposal. Let me go ahead and flip these back over and then I'm going to lay them out. Shucks. All right, here we go. From the top. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, you have the Knight of Raphael, which is talking about, this is Pisces energy. The Knights are talking about someone coming in or, a situation that's kind of like coming to pass, right? It's a little bit of Aquarius, so it's talking about some perspective has been gained, right? You understand something a little bit deeper. You have a much bigger picture, grand perspective. So now you can, you feel the freedom to kind of like be, you can lead with emotion now, right? Because you kind of like thought about it. It's logic. This, there's already been the logic. Now the emotion is coming, right? So you've thought about this feeling and now you're doing something with it. You're acting on this feeling, right? And this could be like in a relationship, or this could just be kind of like, passionate, compassion. The Knight of Raphael is definitely that. It is talking about your creativity, and it's like, being confident with that, carrying that, wearing that well, wearing your vulnerabilities well, wearing your beauty well, wearing your weaknesses well, right? All of that. This could even be like somebody that's coming towards you, that is committed to you in an emotional way, that wants to really be there for you in some, in some way, shape, or form. This could even be somebody that might even seem like they're too good to be true for some of you. This is also like just feeling a little bit better about the direction that things are going. This is kind of like trying to keep your vibrational energy up as well. How are you vibing? Definitely. Because being swept off your feet is kind of like being at an emotional high or being on a high vibrational energy, because it's like you have to keep introducing ideas into your mind and into your psyche that are going to feed into you having a more positive experience. The Knight of Raphael is Pisces. Venus is exalted there. It's happiest there. So Venus can really do a lot of work there. Venus is romance. Venus is drama. It is poetry. It's all of those things that sort of like help us enhance the beauty of life, through sight, through sound, through touch, through all of the senses, right? Yeah, so this is a deeper sense of love as well, right? This is unconditional love as well that you might be having for someone, or you could be expressing that or showing that or trying to, kind of carry that air about you, being like, what, no one is perfect, and whenever we do mess up, it's good sometimes, especially for people that never mess up or people that like people see as being almost kind of like, not perfect, but just trying to be good all the time. It's like, when things happen, it's great because it gives people a chance to see that you're not perfect, so they can't resent you for like thinking that you are. You know what I mean? Or anything like that, right? Because you work hard because you have to work hard. you know, and you have, anyway, I'm going on and on. Right, look, I'm going in the right direction, right? Because the Four of Pentacles just flipped over in the center of your reading, and that's Sun in Capricorn, okay? And I just said you work hard because you know that you have to work hard. You have to do what you have to do. You have a responsibility for yourself, and you have a responsibility to take care of your family, right? You are building, and you have to be very considerate of what you are building, right? Think about the foundation of what it is that you're trying to create, right? Where is it coming from? Where's the potential? You know, what inspires you to want to build or want to create this thing? You know, does it have lasting value? What is the quality of your life? What is the quality of your home life? You could be trying to improve that as well. You know what I mean? When you pour positivity into things, and when you put considerable like quality work into things, it gives back to you that same quality, if not better, because you made something lasting, right? This is something that you can rely on, that you can stand on, you know, solid ground. That's what the Four of Pentacles is talking about. It also is talking about taking control of your finances, and you might be in fear of not having control of your finances. But you know, what you will occur. So, you know, you just have to understand that you can kind of like build what you want to build, right? You just have to like know how to manage your time, know how to manage your money, also manage your body well, because if you don't feel good and your body doesn't feel good and you're not getting the right amount of like rest, okay, then you're not going to be able to work on your optimum level. So that's what the Four of Pentacles is also talking about, you know, trying to spend the right, you know, don't overspend, right? Because then that's going to keep you at an advantage to anything that may occur in the future, right? Making sure that you have money saved up. You know, some people might be like, oh, I like this thing, so I'm just gonna buy it. Meanwhile, you know, 2 weeks later, something breaks, and you know, you're like, damn, now I have to pay for this. But I was a little bit indulgent last week, and if I wouldn't have been indulgent, I could have still been satisfied last week, and I wouldn't feel tight to pay for this thing or to do this thing, you know, repair this or fix this issue. So it's kind of like always try to be one step ahead of yourself, and that's what the Four of Ariel is talking about as well with the Sun in Capricorn, and that's why Capricorn is constantly always working, because it's like you have to be a step ahead of yourself for everything. Virgo also teaches us that. What is challenging you here? Oh, let me tell you what this says. When you give, you also receive. Being resistant to change. Extremes in how you save or spend money. So some of you may not want to change some aspect of what you might be indulging in. Like, it's like, well, I always do this, or this is what I want, or this is kind of like, you know, what makes me feel like I am who I am, or whatever. It's kind of like you can definitely give up certain things that actually are requiring you to change. You know, sometimes in order for you to have something that you want, it requires you to change something that you have been already building, or something that you already possess, you know, because it's talking about a little bit of possession here as well, with it being a four, and it being related to the Emperor, right? This is also related to the King of Pentacles, so it's like you might be dealing with a Taurus, you might be dealing with a Capricorn, you might be dealing with a Cancer, okay? Or Pisces. The Ten of Cups has come in your immediate influence, which is, you know, Mars and Pisces. It's kind of like they're now going towards the end of it. It'll soon be transiting into Aries. This card is talking about the expansion of love, or the expansion of family, right? So some people could be worried about money, or could just be worrying about a growing family, that type of thing, right? Because the Knight of Raphael does bring in kind of like situations. It's like a message that comes with the pages, and the Knight brings in like a real situation, like we have to do something about this or take care of it. So it could be like the expansion of the family, it could be family moving in, or it could just be like needing a bigger house. I don't even know why I'm saying that. You know, the Ten of Raphael and Ten of Cups is talking about blessings and abundance that fill your life, right? Lessons of compassion, right? Karmic cycles that come to an end, right? It's like an emotional roundup, right? So you could be rounding out your emotions with something, right? Or something could be coming full circle in terms of a relationship. This is retrograde season. Neptune is going to be going retrograde in Pisces. Okay, we did just have a Mars conjunct Neptune in Pisces, and the moon was there as well, which was maybe like a week and a half ago, maybe like a week ago, something like that, a little bit over a week ago. So there was a lot of things that were happening there that might have been a little bit confusing for some of us, but you know, it was all a part of, you know, just all things encompassing, right? So we could just be trying to navigate ourselves emotionally. We could be a little bit emotionally confused about where we are going, where a relationship might be going, what we want emotionally, and also, you know, what we want based off of what we have learned. What have we learned from our past relationships? Okay, this says love and blessings fill your life, harmonious relationships with family members, happily ever after. Okay, so now I'm going to pull a runes card here, which I usually do first, but I'm just going to do it now since I got the significator and the immediate influence card out. My goodness gracious. Shite. I don't know what that was. I have some mandalas here that are kind of behind me. You can see them there. One of them you can see really well. And they are done by someone that is a provider that follows Providence Tarot on Instagram and YouTube. These were sent to me, and they actually sell them. So let me just show you one right now while we're choosing that card. This is one of them. Beautiful, right? Apparently, well, they told me that it takes them about 2 hours plus to make each piece, right? Beautiful. Oh, and then this is also one of them. Okay. So I will put that information in my description box so that you can be able to contact them on Instagram. I think it's a Mandala 209, but I have to really be I have to be sure about that. I'm gonna put it in the description box and you can go there and see. I'll put it right at the top, okay? And if you'd like to donate to the channel, that will also be in the description box. So let me go ahead and flip over this top card. I guess it wants to be that. Okay, this is, you know, Gibo. This card is talking about opportunity, what's being brought to you, tenderness, you know, opening yourself up to what is going to fill your cup. You could be asking for something, wanting to receive something, you know, just kind of like trying to call something in, you know. This is a need for something as well. I can read this to you, which is what I usually do. Oh, a gift, gratitude. It just opened up right away. Gratitude, gift. Okay, let me put it up. This room relates to feelings of gratitude you have when you are given something, as well as our generosity in giving of ourselves. A young man offers a cup that appears full and abundant. His expression is serene and generous, as well as resolute and dignified. Gebo means gift in the material, emotional, and spiritual sense. Devotion and reward are the two fundamental aspects of this card. We must not be afraid to make the first move and act freely without asking for anything in return. This attitude is actually a sign of inner strength. Are we capable of giving love? Does our presence enrich group moments and make them more peaceful? Do we tend to absorb energies from others, or do we give them with generosity? Are we a reference point for others? Gebo, or Gibo, however you would like to pronounce it, helps to open our heart to the ideals of brotherhood and cooperation. Okay, and that's what this card sort of signifies here, brotherhood and cooperation, but it's like emotional cooperation, knowing, anticipating the needs of others, right? That's what the Ten of Raphael is talking about, anticipating the needs of others. Okay, so in the past, we have solutions, which is number 14. That's the Temperance card. It is the awareness of your fears. It's the awareness of your experience. It's the awareness of getting older. It's the awareness of maturing. It's the awareness of, how you feel about your experience, who you are, that type of thing. You might be asking yourself a lot of questions. You're going through an inner struggle that is actually bringing you inner strength. It's cultivating inner strength for you. This is Sagittarius Capricorn, so it's saying that something that was hidden from you is no longer. It's kind of like in front of you. You're looking at it with kind of like a question mark, kind of trying to determine, what am I going to do with this? How is this going to benefit me? Is it still benefiting me? What do I need to change about my reality that is going to get me closer to my goals, right? So you're kind of trying to discern what is working and what isn't working, all right? And this card says success that comes from objective compromise, right? And the objective compromise is saying, like, what are the pros and cons? Like, what am I willing to let go of? And what am I not willing to let go of? That's going to serve my greatest good, right? Compromise is kind of like saying, that you're willing and you're able to kind of like change the makeup of something, right? I'm going to change the way that I am composing this, keeping your own composure, right? Composites, right? What are the different composites within a situation, right? How are we mixing things to make it stronger, to kind of galvanize something for ourselves? We're strengthening, we're fortifying something, being aware of where you need to be stronger as well, stronger in your self-confidence, stronger in your ability to control, your passions as well, and to drive your passions in the right direction, okay? Pulling it in and giving it a focus. What is the focal point here? That's what we're looking at. It says self-control and patience, forgiving and healing energy. So, whatever mistakes that you may have made in the past, you have to forgive yourself of those mistakes, because it's kind of like you learn from those mistakes, right? If you didn't make those mistakes, then maybe you wouldn't be as wise as you are today, because you wouldn't have learned those lessons in the time that you have, okay? And this is what this card looks like. Orange and blue are colors here. Complementary. Okay, so let's look at what the sun is focusing on for you. This is an announcement of, a new ability or a new skill. Something is being introduced to you, on behalf of you. It's kind of like you're showing yourself something, you're learning something from yourself. And it's weird. It's almost like you might even be surprising yourself, and it's kind of like making you feel a little bit amped up. You're kind of lit from this. The page of Gabriel is talking about waiting for, your talents to actually pay off for you. Definitely keep following your passions. You're ready for any challenge, the card says. Opportunities for excitement and adventure. So it's kind of like, if you are present, if you are available, and if you are ready for a challenge, then you can take on that challenge, which means that you can actually benefit from winning, or, benefit from like making the goal, or getting yourself to that place that you felt like you never could get, but now you're feeling renewed in a way. Energetic, brave, optimistic, and playful is what it says. Let's look at the moon position for you. I'm trying to get the timing. It's 3:33. So the Two of Ariel is in the moon position for you. This is, what is it? It's cardinal. I'm sorry. Why can't I think of what this card is? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. The Two of Pentacles is Jupiter in Capricorn. Okay, so this is talking about, Jupiter being in Capricorn is kind of like slowing it down. So this is like you're feeling like the progress is being slowed down, or your ability to kind of like feel like your emotions are going through the stages that they're meant to go through in order for you to feel like you're actually healing from something. The Two of Pentacles does also talk about, trying to balance out your finances, trying to weigh out your different options of how you could like stabilize a situation for yourself. It could be in the home, it could be with a job. You could be trying to figure out if a job is right for you, if you want to stay with a job or if you want to stay with a relationship. This could even be talking about trying to like split up the costs of something, or trying to like weigh out the cost of something, the physical cost of something. This could also be talking about the fears that you have, and, how you might be feeling restricted. Not necessarily restricted, or like you working with a lot less, right? You're having to do a lot with a lot less, right? You don't have as much to stand on right now. You have a little bit, so it's kind of like you might have to not do certain things that might cost you a little bit more money or cost you a little bit more time. Manage your money better, manage your time better, manage your body better, manage your relationships better. That's what you kind of like need to do. And you're realizing this intuitively. You're like, I gotta kind of like get a grip on everything that I feel like is making me feel a little vulnerable, or like on edge. You could just be feeling on edge from a lot of different things that you know might be trying to control, right? Or might just be trying to like you know keep under control. You're trying to keep a lot of things under control, and it's proving to be a little bit difficult, right? You're having to assert your power in different ways, right, that make you feel very challenged, right? It's okay. Self-reliance is important. This says it's important to have balance, working multiple jobs or projects at once, making work fun. So don't be intimidated by your responsibilities. This is a challenge that you can deal with and that you can handle. And you kind of just might be weighing out the better option for you in terms of work. Am I going back to work? Am I going back to the same job? Is this going to be different? Or am I taking on something in a new way, right, that I've already been doing, but it's kind of like giving me what I probably wanted out of it a little bit more, like I'm getting closer. So I can see you getting closer to a goal, or getting closer to like what you visualize yourself having in reality. But it's kind of like, you're trying to make sense of like how you can actually build that or cultivate it or make it happen. Different stages for every different thing, right? All right, so in your anxieties and your hopes and wishes, you have the Nine of Gabriel. So this is talking about, getting out of a situation, or, you might have anxieties about like, maybe I've been here before, maybe I've seen this before. And you might be wanting to give up, or you might just be feeling like you don't have any kind of like say so in a situation. I feel like you feel like there's nothing more that you could do in terms of something, except for like just go about your own, do it yourself, right? I'm getting that type of thing. You have some anxieties about doing something on your own or doing something yourself. The Nine of Gabriel is the Nine of Wands. So this is like saying you're almost there. You're almost to the finish line with getting something accomplished, or getting some kind of like, you know, measuring up to some kind of like great feat, you know. The moon, this talks about some things that might be hidden from you, hidden abilities, hidden capabilities, or something might be hidden from you. There might be opportunities that might be hidden from you, right? Or you may not see your way out of a situation, or you may not just see like how you could strategize, right? You got to come up with a strategy here with the moon in Sagittarius. It's saying that you need to be strategic about how you are going to cultivate this new reality for yourself. Okay, you might even have to adapt to some different things. You might have to mutate, or just kind of like maybe be realistic about your goals, okay? That's what this is talking about, being realistic about your goals, okay? But also being able to maintain some level of inspiration, right? Because we are trying to be inspired by what we can achieve, okay? It says, stay determined and move forward. Be prepared for any possibility. Environmental activism. Okay, I just read it after I explain the card. So let's look at what this other one is saying in terms of your Mars position. Queen of Gabriel, this is Cardinal Fire, so this is the card that really wants to be in this Mars position. It's saying that whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to do, wherever your creative passions lie, do that, do that, do that, okay? The Queen of Gabriel is Aries, it's 1/3 of Pisces, so it's saying like how you might have been holding back before, or where you may have been feeling emotionally vulnerable before that was preventing you from being creative, you're no longer feeling that way. You're feeling like, now I want to expose, now I want to be more assertive, now I want to inject some or project confidence and project creativity, right? So it's kind of like showing that creativity, being inspired, coming up with new ideas of how to make things happen, you know. The Queen of Gabriel is related to the Three of Gabriel, which is the Three of Wands. It's talking about waiting for the right moment to act, waiting for the right time to act. It could also be just kind of like feeling, sensitive to the need to create, the need to be, right? Think about what you want to do. Think about how you want to portray yourself. Think about your potential, right? And how you can articulate your abilities so that you can, show where your potential lies, right? People need to see that. Okay, I feel like you need to be a little bit more potent with your creative passions. Be unapologetic about putting things out there, right? And I'm not talking about things that offend people. I'm talking about, being passionate, being charming, being inspirational, being motivational, right? Not trying to tell people what to do so that they're doing what you're telling them to do, but, giving them ideas about what they could do, or giving them ideas that could inspire them to come up with their own ideas of what they want to do. Sometimes I feel like people tell you what to do, and it's like, you just need to kind of like get me lit so that I can come up with my own individual ideas about what I want to do based on what, how you inspired me, that type of thing. This says that you can do anything right now. Go after what you want, and it's the ability to attract helpful people, definitely. In your career, maybe there's some people that can, really kind of like point you in the right direction, okay? Let's look at what's in your Venus position, the star. So this is beautiful. The star card is Aquarius. And this is kind of like being aware of how your relationships affect you, being aware of how your day-to-day life affects you, all 7 days out of the week, This could just be saying that you're kind of like feeling on 24/7. The star card is also the wish card, It's kind of like wishful thinking. It's also kind of like being aware of how you need to get away, or how you need to maintain a level of balance, right? So this is kind of like meditation, calming your nerves, right? Getting, maybe even getting sleep, getting back to yourself. Sometimes everything that's external and outside of us does attach to us and affect us in ways that we didn't intend for it to. So we have to put intention back into ourselves and pour positivity back into what our own intentions are for ourselves. I basically said the same thing twice, but you have to be, you have to remind yourself, okay? You have to remember who you are, where you're coming from, what you're doing. You have to understand that there are going to be ups and downs. You have to control your what you take in. You know, you can't control everything you take in, so you have to control. You can control how you get everything out. You know, Saturn, I believe, rules. Does Saturn rule waste? Because if you consume, then you're also going to be wasteful. Anyway, the star card is talking about the mental waste, psychological waste. You have to clear your head. You have to clear your mind. You know, a tune-up. You know, it's like a little mental tune-up the star card is talking about. And this is saying that you need a break from the relationships that are like really affecting your ability to think straight and to kind of like really being your pure energy, right? A dream come true. Believe in yourself. The end of a difficult situation. Let's look at the Romance Angels Oracle card here and see what this is saying. Release your ex. Express your love. Hold on one second. The dog is outside the door, but I can't let her in because she was acting crazy. But once I'm done with this, I will let her back in. Or I'll open the door. I don't know if she's going to come back in. Love her. I can hear her, though. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull another one from here. Some of you could be thinking about your dream job, you know, finally wanting to do that since you kind of like are in a position to do that. Meaning like that's probably working for yourself too. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. So for some of you, you know, this could be the job of the lifetime. This could be the romance of a lifetime. Or this could just be a very important time in your life where you can make some pivotal changes that are going to be very meaningful for you in the future, you know, when you look back and see how they actually did change, how you were able to change your reality, or how, you know, an opportunity or a situation that sparked some sort of like, you know, change, reaction, cause and effect, right? Anyway, let's pull some more cards, your last three. The last card is New Beginnings, which is Pluto. That's power, that's transformation, that's letting go. You know, that's realizing that something that you may have been choosing to possess or something that you were choosing to obsess about, you no longer feel any strength in doing that. You know, you're kind of like letting it go because, you know, when we put so much focus and energy into possession of something or people, or anything, it kind of like that thing controls us. What we think we control actually controls us to some degree, you know. So it's kind of like letting go of that expectation, letting go of that need to control, or letting go of the you know, the desire to control, and also just kind of like releasing any expectations that you may have had for your partner, or that you may have had for like a job that you might have relied on. You know, sometimes we get comfortable, or we get set, or we get stuck in areas of our life that we kind of like desire would change. And it's, you know, it just requires us, you know, like stepping up and asserting ourselves and really taking a risk, right? Even if we are afraid of it, okay? Let's pull another oracle card. Second to last, this is Zora Virtue Archangel Oracle. These are a little floppy, so I'm gonna be very assertive when I shuffle it. Honey, reducing down those decks. Happy solstice, by the way. Your birthday was like 6 months ago. Wow. After your birthday happened, things got crazy. Well, not really. It was really Pisces season when things got crazy. You know how it is, child. You know how it is. Relationship harmony. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are now being resolved. Oh, that was kind of like a poem. Involved, resolved. Let's take it to the mall. All right, I just chose a card. Clairsentience. I love a Claire. Notice your recurring physical and emotional feelings. To a Vario. Notice those physical changes and those emotional changes that are occurring that really bring notice to the contrast of things, okay? And then that is for you to discern something, for you to learn something, it's for you to figure something out, for you to measure something. So you are measuring some things out in terms of your reality and what you wish to change about your reality, you know, pros and cons, positive, negatives, all of that. Yeah. Notice your recurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. You know, I was moving a lot like 2 years ago. Like, I just move a lot because I have a Cancer moon at 29 degrees, which is critical. And that talks about like trauma in the home, you know, not just with my family that I grew up with, but just like any situation, and kind of like challenges in the home because Cancer rules the home. Ooh, it gets lit. Anyway, let me pull your last 2 cards, or 3, I guess, because you got the Kyle Gray Keepers of the Light coming up. Your final outcome card. Ooh, the Magician. So you have some very powerful cards for the future and what's coming towards you and moving forward. So what you're walking into is, you know, an outcome of transformation, right? Transient. So you're kind of on your way, right? You're moving through something. You're going from one reality into the next. Where you may have been closed off or restricted, you are no longer. The gate has been opened, so you're finally set free, okay? And the Magician is saying that this is freedom because it's Mercury, and then it's saying that, you know, this freedom is giving you a new sense of power that you can almost do anything. You know, you're feeling very inspired. You're feeling very like, you know, I'm in the middle of something that could be really good. You know what I mean? It says that you can manifest the life you want. This talks about the power of visualization, right? Manifestation and attraction, right? Because new beginnings and Pluto is attraction, but then the Magician is also attraction, right? The Magician could also be talking about truth and lies as well, and the ability to discern both, okay? What you need will magically appear. Successful beginnings, new beginnings, successful beginnings, right? Bam. Which is really great. We like that. Now let's pull your Ascendant card, the one that's at the top of the reading, the Rising card, right? What are we climbing towards? What are we aware of about ourselves that is going to help us get to what we're climbing towards? 1st and 10th. Okay, 9, Epiphany, goals. Goals that can actually be fully realized, okay? And we're having to kind of like dial back the expansiveness of our grandiose ideas, and we're trying to see how we can actually get from one place to another. How can we hit the mark? You know what I mean? We want to actually get the bullseye. We don't want to miss it because we don't want to have to start over. We've been going we've been going this long, we've been going this far, we've been learning things, we've been searching, we have been going within, we have been trying to figure out why we feel the way we do, we have been trying to figure out how things have gotten to be the way that they are. You know what I mean? We're taking a very critical analysis towards how we have cultivated certain things in our life and if they are healthy or unhealthy for us. So this is saying that you're going to be tapping back into your a healthier process. You know, this is joy that comes through spiritual growth. Be a light to others and answers that come through meditation. So you could be helping others achieve their goals, or people could be helping you achieve your goals. You know what I mean? You could be realizing what something was for, right? And this is the memory of all of the things that you have learned, right? Yes, I love it. Right, it's like coming out of the dark. Almost. So being able to see in the dark, right? Being able to see in the darkness. So it's kind of like you feel hopeful even when things are kind of like a little bit murky, right? So the 9, the epiphany is almost kind of like going down in the dirt or going down in a cave, right? And having an epiphany there because you're by yourself. It's a very enlightened feeling, okay? I'm gonna pull 3 of these. The first one is Kali Ma, facing fear, going down into the depths, right, to uncover something. I was talking about a cave, right? And this says major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Kali Ma, facing fear. Okay, and then the next card for you is White Eagle, which is the ancestor spirit. This is very Native American energy, okay? It says, connect to your lineage. A family wound or pattern can be healed now. So this is talking about familial karma, right? Releasing old energies or trying to cleanse yourself of that. That's probably why the New Beginnings Pluto card came up, because Pluto is talking about, you know, things that you can't get away from, right? That you're attached to. You know, it talks about karmic debts, payments, that type of thing. Faith, humanity, and benevolence. Stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others. See the light in the world. And that's beautiful because it's saying have faith and see the light in the world. And this is having faith in others and seeing the light in the world. Because you are a service to humanity. And you remember that. If you'd like to get a reading with me, email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com. Make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Hit that donate button on the YouTube channel too if you'd like to donate. Also, follow Providence Tarot on IG. My personal account on Instagram is NYC Kendrick. I'll be hitting you guys up with some updates soon on what's going on in my world, which is our world. And thank you so much for supporting the channel. Talk to you later. Bye, Cap.